Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you one of the methods for you to follow along in this Linux module. So if you are following along from a Windows computer, obviously you won't be able to run Linux commands on there. One of the options that you have is to install what is called WSL2. This is a tool from Microsoft which stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux. Let's see how to install it. So just search for WSL2 in your search engine and click on the first link that you see here, install WSL. So this shows us how to install WSL. You can either do so using this one command. Alternatively, you can do it the manual way. So let's see how to do it the manual way by clicking on this link here. So the first thing that we need to do is check the requirements and see if our computer is compatible with WSL2. To start with, we need to be running Windows 10 with these versions, or alternatively, you can just be running Windows 11. So I'm currently using a Windows 10, so I need to check if my system meets the requirements by following this here. I need to press the Windows key plus R, and now I need to type WinVer. I'm going to press OK. So this is going to bring up this window here. What I'm interested in is the version. It needs to be version 1903. I'm using 22H2 and the build is 18362. And I'm using build 19045. So that means my computer is going to be compatible with this. I'm going to close this window now. For you, if your system is not compatible, just run Windows updates. Let's get started with the installation process. I'm going to search for PowerShell here. I'm going to right click it and run as admin. So I wasn't prompted for a password because I'm already logged on as an admin user. I'm going to put these side by side just so that I can run the commands. So step one is to enable Windows Subsystem for Linux. Now we need to copy this command here and paste it in our PowerShell terminal by right clicking. Okay, let's run this. If you search for 10 Windows features on or off, we can click on this in the control panel. We can scroll all the way down. Essentially what this is doing is just ticking this box here and it's enabling this feature. So you can either do it through the PowerShell command that we just ran, or you can just come here and just select this box. Step number 3 is to enable virtual machine feature. Search for virtual machine feature in here. So I already have it enabled. It's this one here, but I'm going to run the command anyway. So copy the command and paste it in PowerShell and run it. The operation completed successfully. Okay. Step number 4 is to download the Linux kernel update package. We just click on this link here to download the package and then we run that. Okay, so now I'm going to open the file and now I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on finish. Now we need to go to step number 5, and that is to set WSL2 as the default version. So click on copy and paste it here and run it. Okay, so the operation completed successfully. Step number 6 is to install the Linux distribution of choice. So we will be using Ubuntu. So I'm going to open the Microsoft Store from here and I'll search for Ubuntu and I'm going to install version 2404. So click on this and click on install. Okay, so now let's click on open. So this is doing some installation, so let's just wait for a few minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know, this seems to be taking a while. So I'm going to close this window here and search for Ubuntu here. So I'm going to click on this here. So once I closed the window earlier, as it was taking a while to install Ubuntu, when I reopened it, I realized that it was running as root, and we don't want to be running as root account. So by default, when you install this, it should prompt you for username and password to set up as a default user and not root. The problem that I have now is I'm already logged on as root and I don't have a default user account. So I just searched for WSL Ubuntu create new user. The first answer that came up for me was creating a new top level admin user for Ubuntu on WSL. So click on this and this seems to have the same problem that we're having now, because we want to create a new user and we are not being prompted to enter username and password. We want to create a new default user without having to reinstall Ubuntu. So we need to copy this command here. I'm going to open a notepad just to change it in there. The bit that we want to change is here. So this is going to be my new password, and my username, I'm going to set it to Cloud School. I think this is case sensitive, so make sure that you just use lower cases here. So I'm going to copy this command here and paste it in here. Since I'm already running as root, so this is the top level admin account. So root is like super admin user. We do not need to provide sudo, so just paste the command. We are going to create the user account with this user add command. We are going to create a home directory and we're going to add it to the following groups, most importantly the sudo group, because we want to be able to run as admin when required and elevate our privileges. So the password, we are setting it as new password. Change this to your own password and the username is going to be Cloud School for me. Again, change it to what you want. Press enter now. That seems to have run. So the next thing that we need to do is set the new user that we just created as the default user. We need to open this file, WSL.conf, and then set the username as default user here. Let's see if it exists by running ls etc. What is it called? Okay, it's just a file, can't do ls. So we're going to do cat wsl.conf. The file already exists, so we need to modify the file. So I'm going to use nano and then the name of the file. This is a live troubleshooting session. This was not part of the plan, but this is how you would typically go ahead and troubleshoot. So copy this here, paste it. The default user, we want to set it to Cloud School. Again, set yours to what you want. And now I'm going to save the file by pressing Ctrl X. So the caret here is control. So press Ctrl and X. And you want to save it, press Y, file name to write to, yeah, keep it as it is, just press enter. So now if I close this window and let's open Visual Studio Code. So this was the version that we installed, Ubuntu 24.04. So this is still running as root. So let's quickly find out what we need to do to change it from root to the new user account that we created. So after a quick Google, it looks like this is the answer that we were looking for. To change the username that we created to be the default username instead of root here, we need to run this command here. So WSL terminate and the name of the distro. So we already have PowerShell window open. So let's go here. Okay, let's check the help and see how to find out the name of the distro. So let's try this with the all to list all the distributions. So WSL -- list and all. So we have Ubuntu 24.04. So this is the one that we just installed. So let's copy this. And now let's run the previous command again and replace this with this. Okay. We have terminated the WSL session that we had open. As you can see here, the terminal process has been terminated. Excellent. So let's close this and now let's reopen it. It looks like we're not running as root anymore. So let me run who am I here. We are now running as Cloud School. This was the long-winded solution for this problem. So by default, when you install WSL, as long as you don't close the window like I have, and I was a bit hasty, you shouldn't have this problem. And if you do, it's a good troubleshooting session. This is my job every single day. I face a problem, I don't know how to solve it, but Google is going to be my friend. So I got most of the answers here. And finally, I was just able to find out what the distribution I was using by looking at the help options here for the WSL. And we are where we are now. We have finally solved the problem and we are now able to use WSL. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss how to install VirtualBox on your Windows computer. That's it for this lesson and I will see you in the next one.